So
I don't like it.
the purpose of this movie was to let us know y'all just want us to be slaves again.
How many of these movies do we need?
Y'all, let's talk about the movie Antebellum, is it? Low-key, it was a little trash. But
AKA Roots. AKA what the hell? AKA yo. Did you read
The
Room?
They didn't. Let's talk about this trash movie.
Familiar face. I will be right where you are.
Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. As you guys already know, I'm here with my wonderful boyfriend and we actually have not done a review in quite some time, right? But we had saw this past Friday the movie called Antebellum with Janelle Monáe and a lot of other amazing black actors and Gabby Sidibe from Precious. So we're here to just give you a review because it really touched our spirits, right? I don't think the ancestors was too happy with this. But I'm gonna need you guys to watch the video, this entire video. Comment below and let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into this movie, Antebellum. Once we watched the movie, I said, let's look up the meaning of antebellum.
What's the true definition of the word antebellum?
Antebellum means occurring or existing before a particular war, especially the American Civil War.
So
There was a lot to unpack. Once we found out the meaning of antebellum and what it means, it opened our eyes even more to what we had seen in the movie. The things, the different events that had happened in the movie.
Exactly.
So we're going to start from the beginning, okay? So the intro to the movie, right? The intro to the movie is they had captured Janelle Monáe. Obviously, she was indeed a runaway slave. So they had captured her and it was bringing her back to the plantation. Mind you, they had found this girl that was trying to run away as well. This other black woman that was trying to run away. Once I saw the septum ring, I knew
something was off.
I knew something was off and I knew she wasn't a slave. So it was a lot of clues in the beginning that led us to believe these are not slaves. Even down to the way that they were talking, right? They didn't have a southern accent. They were talking very, very educated. That led me to believe, especially with seeing the trailer, that these are not slaves.
I wasn't too fond of the beginning of the movie either because it's just the constant reminder of that there are people in this world that would love for the times to revert back to us being enslaved. Not having a voice, not having an opinion, not having a vote, not having any human rights. Like, I don't understand. And it was like the first 15 minutes of the movie, I'm like...
It dragged. Remember when we looked up, it wasn't even 30... We thinking that we felt like we were sitting in front of the TV for like over 30 minutes. An hour, yeah. We looked up, it wasn't even 20 minutes. The beginning just dragged out.
It did drag out.
The slavery scene just dragged out. It was dragging for me. It was giving me Roots.
It was giving me Roots vibes too, as far as, you know, the part where the general's asking Janelle Monáe what's her name.
Right.
You know, that really kind of got me to a point where I was like, yo, are we like, yeah, what, like, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And did you read The Room?
Yes.
By any chance, especially at this time right now, elections are around the corner. I mean, I know we want to get we want to get our community out to vote. But I don't think this movie... I don't know.
I don't think it was appropriate.
I don't think it was appropriate.
Whatever,
Not saying that it was a bad film or there was bad acting or anything like that.
I just don't think it was appropriate. Janelle Monáe was in the bed, and all of a sudden she woke up after she was sexually violated by Massa. Mm-hmm. She woke up, and all of a sudden she started having flashbacks of when
she was in
before she got captured to become a slave.
Her real life. I feel like the beginning of the movie, while she was getting that whole lesson of, you know, who's a master and slave,
right,
that man came knocking at her door. We didn't understand the reason why he was knocking. She kept slamming the door on him.
Right. It was a black man, another slave that came to her door and saying, when are we ready to leave?
We're going to try again.
We're going to try to get out. So, and you could tell he wasn't a slave either. So even when they brought slaves into the plantation, so to speak, and we have to say quotes because we'll get to that part.
We'll get to that part.
So the plantation, right? You could tell that these were not slaves, and they're looking around like, what the hell are we doing here? So everybody that's supposed to be quote unquote slaves were extremely confused.
Very confused. And not only are you confused, they used the same tactics.
She heard the ring of Massa's cell phone after she was just assaulted, right? So she heard the ring, and then it sounded like a cell phone. So all of us was watching it. Mind you, my sister, like, it was on demand, so they ordered the movie. So all of us was watching, like, a cell phone during slavery times? Who? So we didn't get it, where the cell phone came out. So Massa gets up, and he answers the cell phone, and he's talking on the phone. So that led us to believe, okay, they really aren't slaves, and this really isn't a plantation, so to speak. At that point, it led us to believe, oh, okay, this is actually taking place today, and they just decided to, in 2020, so to speak, just make us slaves. That's the impression we got once he answered the phone.
No, yep.
That's just the impression that we got. Because when they had cell phones, because we would have been got out that situation if they had cell phones back then. So that just led us to believe.
It confused the hell out of me. And even in 2020, there's people being captured and people being abducted and being forced to be slaves. Like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
still to this day. Still to this day, being forced to be your slaves.
I'm not shocked necessarily because Board of Education versus Brown was not too long ago.
It really
okay,
wasn't.
Civil rights was not too long ago.
So basically, she's like a public figure, Janelle Monáe. She's like a public figure that speaks out on behalf of black folks, speaks up against police brutality. She gives lectures where on educating black people,
black communities,
black women, black men. She does her little lecture, and all of a sudden, fast forward, she gets kidnapped. Right? She's seeing like certain signs of like white folks in a hotel and at the restaurant being like super weird.
And even the white lady who
was her friend
was being weird. Not necessarily being weird, but that white lady who was, you know, communicating to her of how she was a fan but didn't read none of her work, didn't stand by anything.
But then come to find out, a lot of the white people that were being weird were actually the white people that were on the plantation, right? So a lot of the white men she was seeing in the hotel that were being weird and creepy and knocking on her door actually were the masters in this fake plantation, right? So all of a sudden, the white folks that are being uber weird, right? They kidnapped her and take her to this fake plantation. All of a sudden, she breaks out. She takes his cell phone. Her and the other slaves tried to call on Massa's cell phone to get help. Send her location to her husband to just really try to get help.
But couldn't get the help because it showed. That's another reason why I kind of looked at the film in different perspectives, because it showed the tenacity of how far would you go, because
to be free.
The technology was advanced. Yep. She could not unlock that phone without that man's face.
Right.
So
they beat him up,
from
and she
that
was
moment,
able to
but
escape. And come to find out, the ending, it was a Civil War reenactment.
But the land was acres that was pretty much donated and designated for this Civil War reenactment. So acres and acres of land, of bodies of black people being abducted, has been taken, like plucked out of society.
That led me for us to now talk about the producers of the film. These are two producers that were the producers in Get Out.
And Get Out, yes.
Right? And I think one was a white guy and one was a black guy. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So after doing some research, I realized that there are a ton of black and white, a whole lot of white producers, but these are the only two producers from Get Out. But I feel like when white folks have their hands in making films like this, it makes me kind of cringe. It makes me kind of cringe. It's real cringy to me. Number one, I'm just kind of sick of slavery movies anyway. But to me, it really upset me and my homegirls.
It's upsetting me and my homegirls.
Because I'm just like, oh, so y'all took regular people, regular black people, right, from 2020. Y'all took us to this reenactment, right, the Civil War reenactment in which y'all was actually making us be slaves. It's just like what Sam said. It's like, are y'all really trying to tell us y'all want us to really be slaves? Is that the tone that y'all really setting? Or are y'all saying that, oh, it's just that easy for y'all to become slaves again? It's just that easy for us to brainwash you because you really don't have no power. You think you're a prominent figure and speaking out for black folks and standing up and going to marches and doing things for the black community. But do you know we could strip you of all your rights because we have just that much power and we could make you become slaves. That is the tone, that's the energy that they gave me, and it wasn't sitting right with my spirits, and I don't think the ancestors were too happy. Yeah. We all know that it wasn't a real movie. It was real events depicted in that film. Let's stop pretending as if Black Lives Matter protesters don't get kidnapped in the middle of protests
and get
or come up missing or murdered. Let's stop acting like that don't happen. It happens all the time.
Too often.
So, did they read the room? Hell no. I mean, the producers of Get Out, obviously Get Out is Jordan Peele movie. It was trying to be Jordan Peele, but as far as I'm concerned, it was a great value version of Jordan Peele.
They went around and they tried to emulate or to show a different version from their perspective or from someone's perspective. But altogether, the Antebellum movie was...
The acting was great. Don't get me wrong. Janelle Monáe was superb in it. A lot of the other black actors were superb.
But this movie made me
it was poor timing.
Yeah, it was poor timing, and it really made me feel that, like we said earlier, you didn't read the room. We
didn't need that right now. We didn't need to be reminded at any point during 2020 or going forward that just a snap of the fingers y'all can go back to slavery.
Yeah.
Like, and it shows though. It shows how it's possible. With the way things is going, it's possible it might go that way. I mean, look at the way 2020 is headed. Look at what's going on so far.
I feel like
it ain't far-fetched for them to believe that.
This movie kind of like really kind of showed a different light on like domestic terrorism.
Oh, like, Jesus, yes.
On a different perspective, because of the fact is that as many times as we say that threats are on the outside, there's threats really on the inside. And it comes down to threats being even in your local police department. You don't even, like, it goes deep. It really goes deep. Really deep. And I know that there is systematic oppression. It really does exist, but this really showed the agenda of the white dominance of what they would want for things like, I know it's off of pretty much, someone sharing their thought process or sharing their point of view as a writer. But you may be writing, but somewhere in this country that exact thing is actually really happening.
Right, and then it
So-
reminded me of, you know how a lot of movies and TV shows like
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons and stuff like that, they have like these predictions
Mm-hmm.
of different events that's gonna take place.
Simpson did it.
I felt like this movie was no different. This movie gave me those vibes too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you trying to come up with a prediction of what may happen?
Because it says, we did ask for the definition of antebellum. That this is before the war. So
Right.
that means that
Slavery.
the Civil War was inevitable. And there was a lot of things that happened before the Civil War.
I didn't understand where the butterflies came in at, because the butterfly was on the slave's leg that had hung herself.
I think that was the last straw.
Even on the photo of Janelle Monáe for the movie, she has a butterfly over her mouth. What do butterflies symbolize?
Butterfly symbolism is the representation of our transformation. Now, understanding butterfly symbolization is essential, especially if the butterfly is your spirit animal. So that's important information.
So basically it means transformation. I don't get the correlation with that and then the movie.
I think now it may be far-fetched, but what I think it may say that for us to use our struggle as blacks in this world, we had to transform ourselves to be free consistently. The black man, woman has needed to transform for many decades, generations, in order for us to survive.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the symbolism of the butterfly holds.
But
in this.
it was one statement that was made at the very, very beginning, and then they kept reiterating it throughout the movie as to say the past is not the past. It's not necessarily the past. The past is sometimes the present, and it's just as relevant. That led us to believe that what you trying to say? We fit to be slaves all over again.
You trying to put it
So
up?
they said that about 3 times. That led me to believe, okay, we could go back to y'all picking cotton if y'all don't know how to act right and stop promoting
This
the black
the
community.
and Black Wall Street and Black Dollar and Black
Right.
economics
That's
and
the
all that.
and I don't know, this is the week. Okay, the movie dropped Friday.
Yeah.
It's now Sunday that we're
It's
filming
on
this.
Sunday.
No one's really talking about it. I know you had to pay like 20 bucks to watch it on demand.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many people paid the 20 bucks. It's actually a lot less than us seeing it in the movies. Because we would have to pay $20 per person. Gave me vibes that history repeats itself.
Well, history does repeat itself, and we always see the white man always feeling that they need to be superior and we need to be inferior. Why? Why can't we all sit at the round table?
But we don't need to sit at the round table. But guess what? If I choose to make my own table with my own group of friends, my own family,
Don't be
my
mad.
own people, don't come over there
And
and destroy my damn table. Because you want to force us to try to sit at your table that you're denying us access to. That makes no sense. Let folks be over here and build their own stuff. And you leave them alone. If we ain't bothering you, don't bother us. And don't condemn me for doing what I got to do to build
No.
my table from scratch.
No, why condemn? Why
But we
condemn?
could go on and on about this
Anyway.
topic. Now the question is, would you see the movie? Would we recommend the movie?
The movie. Well, I recommend. The thing is that I support
The artists.
The artists.
The
as far as
actors
the
and
actors.
actresses
Exactly. Now, as far
should
as
be supported.
as far as supporting the actual like producers and the directors and the writers, not necessarily. You know, I don't want to say that I support it, but I think everyone should watch the film so they can have their own take on.
If you want to spend $20 to watch the film and give your own critique, that's on you. I'm not telling you to watch it or not to watch it. Me personally, even though I ain't even pay for it, I wanted my money back, and I ain't even buy it. I ain't even pay for the $20. We could have did without this.
Well,
we could have did without this.
We were saying that we wanted to watch it. Not only that we wanted to watch it, but there was other people that wanted to watch it. So I'm not going
And those people that are into Lovecraft Country, the TV show that is written by Jordan Peele, it gave me bootleg Lovecraft Country vibes. It was a bootleg Lovecraft Country. If you've seen the show Lovecraft Country, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it just gave me bootleg Lovecraft Country vibes.
Bootlegger.
Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the movie. If you've seen it, if not, just comment below. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We would love to hear from you. Okay, even if you don't agree with anything that we said.
Watch out for each other and love each other.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace and blessings. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.